Good evening, and thank you for joining us here on the Red Hawk Sports Network. I'm Jack Bartek, alongside John Kosoban and Jess Lipson here at Pitzer Field at the MSU Soccer Park for the second round of the NCAA tournament as Montclair State takes on the Washington College Shoremen. Guys, how's it going?
It's great. We have finally coming up on this Sunday game, round 2, after that round 1 was just so good. Both teams really deserve getting here. It's going to be a fun watch.
Yeah, I'm doing great as well. I'm excited to finally get the three-man booth going. This should be fun. It should be a fun one. And we have two teams that deserve to be here after having great first-round games.
Yeah, and you guys were here yesterday, and both games were called by the pair of you two. So talk to me first, John. Tell me what you saw with Montclair State yesterday, what got them here. Yeah,
I think they played well. It wasn't their best effort because we could seen this team be so dominant over the course of the season, and they played well enough, and they were able to get that penalty kill, that shot by obviously Amir Lukovic, who had a pretty nice game overall. He put that thing in the back of the net, but during the course of the entire thing, they struggled a bit getting their offense going and kind of putting shots on goal. So they're going to need to get that back and return to form for this game because this Washington College team looked so good yesterday too.
And Jess, with Washington College, the Shoremen, what did they do to pave their path here?
Yeah, they did a great job of not just having one or two scorers. They had a flurry of guys on the offensive side really make an impact. We're going to see a lot of James Strine and Greg Adams in this game, both being able to score in that game, as well as Eric Watts. He's going to be a main factor. But I think the biggest thing for them and in that game was Anthony Pinto in goal. He was just unstoppable back there, making some incredible saves.
Almost time to get started as the teams are huddling up and taking the field. But first, we'll give you the starting 11, starting with the Washington College Shoremen. In net, the goalkeeper, number 36, sophomore Anthony Pinto. And then down the line, in number order, sophomore number 6, Chris Comber, junior number 7, Jackson Sopa, junior number 8, Ben Horgan, senior number 9, Greg Adams, senior number 10, James Strine. Those are your two goal scorers yesterday. Junior number 13, Cole Gifford, junior number 14, Alex Coster, senior number 19, Joe Mutscheller, senior number 22, Del Jenkins, and senior number 26, Eric Guads. As we are underway here, Montclair State controlling early. For the Redhawks, it'll be Shane Keenan in net. The last time these two met early in September, it was Andres Lesme, the backup keeper. He only saw one shot, and it went into the back of the net in a 3-1 Montclair State win. And then down the line, senior number 3, Ryan Catalano. Senior number 4, Daniel Rodriguez, as Lukovic gets ahead on it. Crawford plays it into the corner. Working up near the top of the box. And Altamirano clears it back out. The rest of the way, you just saw him, junior number 9, Josiah Crawford, senior number 10, Anthony Pelais, freshman number 11, Amir Lukovic, freshman number 12, Owen Murphy. Crawford into the box here, has it cleared away before he can get to it, and it looks like it'll be a Montclair State throw-in. Freshman number 14, Ian Chesney, sophomore number 15, Giancarlo Altamirano, junior number 19, John Picajado, and freshman number 24, Alex Zylanka, round out the group for the Redhawks. Catalano in the corner has his cross attempt blocked away and saved in. Almost a goal kick, but a fine job. It looks like it might have been Del Jenkins down there keeping that ball in play and saving it out to the midfield.
Yeah, Del Jenkins, pretty good on defense, but also keep in mind the last time these two teams faced off, Del Jenkins was the guy who scored the lone goal for Washington College, so he might be able to show up in this one.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from this Redhawks team early on. They're going right after it on the offensive side. John, you kind of mentioned it. Yesterday we didn't see the best version of this offense, and they just have so many playmakers. We're waiting for them to finally break through. We've seen it a lot earlier on in the season.
Chesney clearing the ball away. Almost settled now. Lukovic with the takeaway. Here's a bit of a chance. The through ball for Cajado intercepted. And now Washington clears it. Looks like Cajado almost had a run there.
Him and Lukovic being able to score in that first meeting between these two teams.
A lot of action near that Washington College sideline. One thing about the Shoremen, they travel really well. They have a rowdy fan base. They showed it yesterday. And talking to Greg Adams post-game, he said it means everything, and it shows that we're not just playing for ourselves, but we're playing for a community that it rallies behind us. And having them travel here yesterday in those weather conditions meant everything to them.
Yeah, and they looked really at home as well. The way that they were able to control that game against St. Lawrence yesterday was really impressive. Honestly, I think they looked the best out of the 4 teams this weekend. And to be able to play that here tonight against the actual home team, Montclair State, interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I think you hit it, John. The main key is they're playing at Montclair State's home field, so everything really should be slanted towards the Redhawks, but when you're able to have anything that can help you feel at home, it's a big advantage. Catalano has it on the near side. Nice job there by Jenkins to slow his pace. The throw-in, way up ahead to Lukovic. Almost broke free, had it knocked away by Mutscheller. Washington College trying to get on the counter. Oh, nice job by Altamirano in the midfield. He's been really, really solid this year defensively. Pillai's looking ahead. His pass stepped in front of, but Montclair controls at about the midfield line.
Yeah, especially yesterday. Altamirano put in a lot of good work in the midfield. He was involved pretty much every single time the ball crossed over there. So he's probably going to look to do the same thing again, disrupt this Washington College offense.
Some action in the midfield. Ends up with Catalano. He lines up across. Lukovic gets ahead on it, and it rolls to the corner where Cajado will collect it. Cajado takes his shot at a cross. A bit too strong for anybody. Crawford trying to settle it. He's double teamed and has it taken away. Jackson Sopa taking it himself a solid distance, and now they'll play to the back line. Montclair State, they'll keep pressure on all game long, no matter what part of the field the ball is at. We got a whistle here. Looks like it's going to be a foul. It goes against Murphy.
Yeah, and Murphy, as we know, very physical player. Yesterday was in the middle of a couple of those collisions as well, and you see he's still talking to the ref. He's one of those guys that kind of lights a fire under this Montclair State team, and that's probably what they're going to need here today. After yesterday, things were looking a little slow for them.
Yeah, none of the guys on this team shy away from physicality. That's for sure. That pass stepped in front of a ball, tried to be played ahead to Cajado, but knocked down. Might have been Ben Horgan. No, Chris Comber took that one away. Montclair State gets it back. A lot of attention being paid to Lukovic whenever he touches the ball. Murphy. Played out to Pillai. Trying to direct traffic. Across into the box and punched out. A really nice play there by Anthony Pinto to keep that from being too dangerous of a situation.
Now let's see if the Shoremen can get something going here. This defense can only hold the Montclair State team for so long. They're doing a really good job of it so far. They're a really good back line there, but they're going to need to put something in back of the net. And it's not going to just be one or two looks that finally get past Keenan. It's going to be consecutive looks that finally break through.
Yeah, and even with one score, I don't think that Coach Dunshee and the Shoremen would be happy. Speaking to him yesterday after the game, he said after the first goal in their first-round game against St. Lawrence, they didn't feel comfortable at all. They wanted to keep the pressure up and play like it was still 0-0. And, obviously they find the second one, and he said everything loosens up a bit as a ball played through. Too strong. Pinto has it. Might have been offside regardless, but Pinto controls. So, that's the mindset for the Shoremen, and I think obviously for both teams, Montclair State is so aggressive, and once they get a lead, they capitalize on it. So for the Shoremen, I think it's imperative that they play like they're behind the entire game.
Yeah, and that's the difference between yesterday. They had time of possession pretty much locked down on their side, at least to start, right? The first 10 minutes was pretty much all Shoreman. Here it's been the opposite, right, in this round 2. So this Montclair State offense, it's more potent than St. Lawrence's, and that's what Washington College is going to have to fight against.
Yeah, and that is by design from Coach Tumulty and the Redhawks. We have the privilege of knowing this team. We've covered them all season long, and speaking to him early in the season, he felt very good about this team. He brought in a big freshman class that he felt at least a good amount of them could play from day one, and they have a bunch of freshmen here in this starting 11. And he said that gives you some extra depth where you can press up for 90 minutes as opposed to 45, especially on this big field, which is bigger than most at the Division III level. Nice feed from Crawford. Lukovic into the box. Had it knocked off his foot by Comber and collected by Pinto on the rebound.
And for the Redhawks, what they have for them is they have a bunch of really talented individuals, but what's key for them is that they're all able to play together, and that's not the case in a lot of teams. Really good teams have really good players, and it's how they can play together and mesh together. I think a lot of that is the David Lager Leadership Award winner in Gene Altamirano. He really does a great job of manning the midfield area and just kind of distributing the ball.
And for Montclair State, coming into yesterday's first-round game, they had lost 2 in a row for the first time this season. They dropped one to Rutgers Newark in the last regular season game, and they also lost to Rowan in their conference semifinal. And so to get a second life here, Coach Tumulty told us, it says a lot about the team and their resiliency that they were able to put those results behind them and focus on the new day.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot yesterday about just how good they were to be able to have this opportunity after ending the season the way that they did. And they've been awarded this opportunity. Now is their chance to actually take it and prove that, they deserve to be hosting this round.
A lot of contact in the midfield. Altamirano going to be whistled for the foul, and rightfully so. Knocking Gifford down to the turf. Altamirano trying to state his case, but I think it's a losing one. The Shoreman trying to get something going across into the box here, and a nice job by Zylanka heading it out. And wisely, Rodriguez just plays that out, knowing it was in some dangerous territory. Strine was still stalking in there, and now the Redhawks able to really clear things out. I think this is really important for Washington College. Being able to retain possession for a little bit and get yourself a good look is the most important thing, and that's what Montclair State has been doing to them to start the game.
Yeah, that's where Washington College looked their best yesterday. So if they can try to re-emulate that here in this matchup, it would do wonders for them because so far we haven't seen all that much of it. Just spent a few minutes to the left of our screen here, and it's a positive sign for them.
Yeah, they made Wolfinger work a lot. The goalie for St. Lawrence yesterday, putting off 16 shots as well as 9 shots on goal. They're going to have to do that once again. And haven't really seen too much of it so far.
Quads has his pass taken away. Lukovic has some room, fires, and misses wide right. He was probably a good 15 to 20 yards out of the box. But with that left foot, he has nothing but confidence. And he let one go and just missed.
Tell you what, he loves to score, and he loves to score early, so no surprise there that he was willing to take that shot. And thought it looked pretty good, actually, from this angle, but just missing to the right of the net.
Pinto sends it deep. 50-50 ball. Won by the Redhawks. Now they give back possession. Trying to play one ahead to Guads, but it's Catalano sending it deep. Knocked out by Lukovic. It's going to be a Shoreman throw-in.
A lot of times earlier in the years, if maybe a team that's not so good is going up against a Montclair State or a Washington College, they're trying to see which ways they can win and whatnot. Meanwhile, these two teams are so talented, they throw out the same rosters time and time again, and they try to control the game to their own abilities.
Looks like Adams had something going there before Altamirano caught up to him from behind. Now Pelaya's working in the midfield.
It's a great chase down by Altamirano. We know how dangerous Adams can be, but he came up right from behind him and was able to tangle him up just enough to get that ball away.
Adams, one of the goal scorers yesterday for Washington College. Strine is the main piece on that attack, but Adams right up there with him. On the outside of the box, a shot fired and blocked away. That was off the foot of Crawford, trying to chase it down into the corner. It looks like he kept it in. Crossing into the box, headed out. Still controlled by Montclair State. And finally booted deep. A nice play by Jenkins to step up and get it out of trouble.
Greg Adams said after the Franklin and Marshall game where they Washington College beat Franklin and Marshall, the number 2 team in the country at the time. He said that was his biggest game of his career at this school. I'd say that this one might be bigger than that one.
Maybe? There's a chance. There's a chance maybe this
Second
one is
round
a
of
little
the
bit more.
NCAA? Yeah.
And for Montclair State fans that are watching right now, some interesting developments around the rest of the Division III men's soccer landscape today. NYU fell at the hands of Connecticut College, and Tufts right now in a double overtime battle with Stevens scoreless deep into the second overtime. That has big implications because if Tufts were to be knocked out, they're the top seed in this side of the bracket. They would be the presumable host for the next round. If Montclair State could pull this one out and Tufts falls in double overtime, Montclair State could be looking at a second weekend of hosting. But they got to get the job done today first.
Yeah, let's just say the bracket gets a lot more complicated if Tufts were not to advance. With just how good of a team that they've been all season, and it's a great effort to be able to take them to 2 OT.
We're about 15 minutes in here at MSU Soccer Park. Still scoreless. Tufts had absolutely no problem in their first round game with a 5-1 victory. Not even really a sweat for them. But they're being pushed to the brink right now. Lukovic applying pressure. The Redhawks control the possession. Not much doing for either team early on. I would say the best chance so far was that one Lukovic boot, and that was from way out, and he kind of made that opportunity up himself. Crawford chasing it down in the corner. It's going to go through the end line, and looks like it's going to be a corner kick. So an opportunity for Montclair State. Josiah Crawford going to line things up on the far side corner. Montclair State stacking the box.
And when you're playing like Montclair State's playing right now, you don't have to force the shots. You can kind of see what opens up to you if you're just playing with the ball on your offensive side, which they've been doing so far. I don't mind them not taking so many shots early on.
The Redhawks scattered along the high side, and Crawford just plays it in. Lukovic a boot. Headed out. Still controlled by Zylanka. He floats one in. Altamirano's there. Saved by Pinto. Looks like it might have been ruled offside anyway, but a heck of a job by Anthony Pinto going out and knocking down that shot off the right foot of Altamirano.
Yeah, you can't say enough about what Pinto has done, not only so far today, but yesterday as well. Just really aggressive out there. He loves to come out and make plays, and he was the key to their victory yesterday, as well as their offense was. He was able to stop a lot of shots.
Now Cajado playing a ball ahead. Crawford has it on his foot. Here's a chance. It's saved by Pinto. The rebound by Crawford. Oh, it's knocked away. What a play by Chris Comber.
Oh, my goodness. Chris Comber at the right place at the right time. What a save by him, doing it with his feet.
You won't get a better opportunity than Josiah Crawford just had on the rebound. Pinto was beat after a terrific save on the break and marked down a 1 next to the S for Chris Comer.
And that's that aggressiveness of Pinto, right, that we just talked about, him coming out like that. But what happens is you give him that second chance, and we were sure that thing was going in, but what a defensive stop.
Off the corner, the Redhawks just played in. Lukovic controlling. Deflected high up into the air. Still a fight for possession. And now the Shoremen can go on the counter. Oh, great play by Murphy.
Yeah, that was huge. They didn't have all their defense back.
And they catch Lukovic offside. He can't believe it. Tried to play a nice back heel pass, but it was whistled dead before that. Wow. What a sequence there, guys.
Yeah, and if the Shoremen want to stop it, they're going to have to keep possession here. Once again, Montclair taking possession right back from them after quick opportunity. That's going to tire the opponents out. It's what they did to Gordon yesterday. Timelty said that was a key late in the game when both teams are tired. Montclair State just holding possession, making the other team chase, kept them a little bit more on edge.
Here's a bit of a chance. Adams working down the far side. He's doubled into the box, off the foot of Altamirano. Worked out. Shoreman still controlling. Altamirano, a nice challenge on the slide tackle. He's taken down, and Montclair State will be awarded the foul.
Altamirano, what an effort there. That's 2 times within about 5 or 10 seconds that he was able to stop the forward momentum of the ball. One time he was just standing there, and it happened to find his foot, and then the next he got in there. I mean, he has been so clutch for them this weekend. It's continuing here tonight.
Yeah, Adams is making his case down there. I think he might have had a reasonable case. There's a lot of contact, but no call. The Redhawks trying to make the most of it. Crawford working it to the midfield. Murphy had it knocked off his foot, and the Shoreman control. Catalano, some room, boots one in. Lukovic settles it on his left foot, and his shot blocked out. Had some space, but again, it's Comer with a really nice play. He has been huge so far.
Yeah, Lukovic playing around with it a little bit too much. Maybe he would have liked to get ahead, but, I mean, they're continuing to have possession down there in the box. That's just, once again, huge. It's going to pay off.
And I think for Washington College, they're being a bit too aggressive too quick. I'd like to see him play some balls in the back like this and set something up as opposed to just rushing off of turnovers. They've done too much giving it right back to Montclair State, and I think they've had some good opportunities. The one was right off the incredible play by Comer and net where they had numbers and they gave it right back to Montclair State. The Redhawks awarded the throw in here. A little over 20 minutes into this first half at MSU Soccer Park. If you're just joining us, the second round of the NCAA tournament, Montclair State hosting the Washington College Shoremen. I'm Jack Bartek. To my right, John Kosoban and Jess Lipson. Quads takes it across and now gives it right to Rodriguez. He was looking to center that ball.
So many white jerseys just swarming Quads. We saw yesterday his ability to kind of break away by himself. He's got speed when he has that ball on his foot, but a great way to counter that is just throw a bunch of bodies at him.
The Redhawks trying to play one ahead here. Crawford has him beat, crossing it into the box. And once again, it's Comer getting a foot on it, and it's cleared out. He has been mega active to start this one. Only a sophomore out of Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. And he has another takeaway right there. Redhawks get it back and play to the back line. Cajado in some space. Cajado. Booting near side, a bit too strong, and it'll go out. Oh, Washington throwing. He was trying to play one to Pelias. We'll get our first sub of the night. That's going to be the junior Harrison Malone coming on for the Shoremen. Surprising to see Washington with the first sub. As this one played ahead, taken off the foot of Guads. Another nice play by Altamirano. Redhawks off on the counter. Montclair State known for their use of depth all season long. But tonight it's the Shoremen going to their bench first.
And I think we kind of saw the same thing yesterday. Montclair State took a while to get their first sub in the game as well, so maybe a little bit of a switch of the game plan, at least early on. It took them about 20, 25 minutes for their first sub yesterday as well, and we're right about around that time now.
Yeah, you get into the playoffs, everything tightens up. You start to shorten the rotation a little bit.
Yeah, and there's probably even less reason to sub today than yesterday, being that yesterday you knew you were going to have a game the next day. Today, you got a week to recover if you
lay it all on the line. It's interesting you say that. Talking to Coach Dunshee after their victory yesterday, he said, when we played Montclair State the first time, we didn't play our best game, but we wish that we could have gotten them on fresh legs because it was the tail end of a 2-day tournament. And he said, obviously, we're not going to get them with fresh legs this time, but we feel like we're a different team than we were at that point in the season. Spalai's working in the midfield. Booting near side to Cajado. Lukovic.
Some really nice Montclair passes.
But a solid job on the defense for Washington. They've done a good job trying to keep Lukovic as much of a non-factor as possible. He can be such a difference maker if you let him. But the Shoremen doing a good job keeping him quiet so far.
I think the Shoremen are realizing early on that maybe yesterday when Guads and Adams were able to break free in that game, they're playing a different team today, and that's not going to be able to happen as easily. Still, though, they're going to have to go at it and just keep trying.
Cotto. Nice find to Lukovic. Oh, a bit too soft of a ball. A nice job by Pelias to stop the run out for the Shoremen, but to get the ball back. Altamirano trying to step up. The Shoremen have it, though. Sopa playing it to the back line. Maybe a chance to get something going. Booting to the near side, Guads. Playing it to the top side. Jenkins. He's got some room in front of him. Oh, a great play by Altamirano to boot that pass out. And now a misplay, and Chesney clears.
Really solid defensive effort by Montclair State there. You know, Jenkins had the ball on his foot for a while, but a couple of nice slides, a couple of nice boot outs there. They were able to stymie that chance.
Oh, good ball ahead, and it's going to be offside. That looked like it was a beautiful chance. I think it might have been Malone. I could be mistaken on the far side. It came flying through and got a foot on it. Keenan wasn't able to corral it. Might have been interesting if the flag didn't go up. Ends up on the foot of Pinto.
I'm sure Keenan's a little antsy back there wanting to get in on some of the action. I'm sure his defense, though, will do the favor of not letting that happen for him.
That was one of the things this year for Keenan. He was one of the best goalkeepers in the country at the Division III level, but he didn't face that many shots because the defensive unit was so good for Montclair State. He also missed a few games due to injury earlier in the season. That's why we saw Lesme in net the first matchup against Washington.
Yeah, which is why also it'll be interesting to see how Keenan plays this, you know, because his team has seen Washington College, but technically he hasn't, right, on that field. So, you know, you can watch all the tape and, you know, on the sidelines, but it's a little bit different. And especially, like you mentioned, Coach Dunshee talking about how they feel like they're a different team. You really can't take too much from that first matchup into how this one is going to go because it's just two completely different dynamics.
Lukovic. Oh, a great move. He's got some space. Plays one to Murphy up top, a shot. Fired a bit high. A missed opportunity for Montclair State, and now the Redhawks will send their first sub on.
Yeah, Lukovic with some really good footwork there, and then a really nice pass The shot from Murphy just missing. Good opportunity for them.
Christian Bernal, the first sub for the Redhawks. For those wondering, Tufts and Stevens are currently in a penalty kick shootout in their game. We're watching live on the stream, so we will try and keep you posted on that. Tufts just scored on their first shot, so they have a 1-0 lead in penalty kicks, a golden opportunity for Stevens to take down the Giant. Bernal cutting across to intercept that pass. A nice play fresh off the bench by Bernal. Wow, Stevens' first shot in the penalty kick shootout saved. Tufts the early advantage. Bernal has his pass. Oh, almost intercepted, but he wins it back. Pelais has it taken away. A lot of contact. And it looks like they'll play the advantage. Altamirano in some pain, it looks like, near the midfield. Trying to play it into Guads. Headed out by Catalano. Bernal, a through ball for Lukovic. He's got some space. 1-on-2 into the box. He still has it. Looking for Crawford. Still in control. Murphy up near the top of the box. Chips one in. Wide right. You thought Lukovic might have had a really good chance at it, but he played his second touch a bit too strong.
And it was all set up really nicely on this near side by Bernal. He got past two defenders and then made his way downfield, set it up really nicely for Lukovic. And then right there waiting for him was Josiah Crawford. Eventually, though, it does go out of bounds.
Pinto, the goal kick. Flies it to midfield. A whistle against the Redhawks. Shorman will have a set piece right near midfield.
This Washington team has not historically been in the NCAA tournament, has not historically been a powerhouse team, but Coach Dunshee will be the first to tell you the hire of Ryan Shera in the assistant coach is a huge one. He's a great coach, and he's really doing whatever he can to one day lead his team. It's kind of funny, Dunshee, his first time ever coaching was in high school, and it was Shera's high school team.
And he told a great story in the post game yesterday. He said, we mentioned how Washington College was coming off of their first NCAA tournament victory in school history, a huge accomplishment. And this ball played ahead. It looks like Pinto's going to go out and get it with no problem. Obviously, a huge accomplishment, and he was very excited about it. But great guy. He's a jokester, and he said, nobody on the team has NCAA tournament experience, but I do, because back in the 70s, I played in an NCAA tournament game. And the only similarity between that game and the one we played yesterday, I didn't play in either of them. Love Coach Dunshee's sense of humor. Really great guy.
Yeah, it was really awesome getting a chance to talk to him. Really talks highly of his coaching staff. And then all the leaders on this team, there's 6 captains there. This is a veteran team. They have a lot of graduate students, fifth-year seniors taking advantage of that COVID season. They're ready this season, and they're showing it. They showed in that first round.
Some more subs, one for each side. For the Shoremen, it looks like Ben Strine checking in. And for Montclair State, Reed Carson.
Montclair State just casually bringing on halfway through the first half or late into the first half their third highest scorer. That's just what they can do. They're that great and that deep.
And that's going to be a whistle against Pelais, rightfully so. Strine hit the ground pretty hard.
I tell you what, there might have been a collision head to head, because I could hear the smack from up here.
Yeah, I don't think it was a malicious play but
at all.
It was some hard contact, and Strine couldn't get his feet down. Hit the ground hard.
So they're going to give him a yellow card?
They gave a yellow card there to Polize. Understandable. It was hard contact and potentially avoidable. Well, we have a moment here. The penalty shootout continues between Tufts and Stevens. Tufts had a chance to put it away, missed on their fifth attempt. If they had made it, it would have been over. Stevens answered with a make. Now they are into the extra shots, and Tufts just hit there first. Stevens stepping up to the ball right now. Some wild action in D3ville. And Stevens scores. They stay alive. Both of those teams fighting for their season right now, just as the Shoremen and the Redhawks are here at Pitzer Field.
Yeah, almost thankfully no action going on in the game in front of us, so we can keep tabs on this PK back and forth. 5-5, really tight.
Not sure what the holdup is. We have 13 minutes left to play in the first half. Tufts nets another one. Stevens will have to answer. This is the double play-by-play right now.
With 12 minutes left in this first half here, Shoremen need to get an attempt on goal. They have yet to take a shot in this game, let alone a shot on goal, while Montclair State has taken 7 so far.
Well, they have a chance right here. Jenkins in the corner, working one-on-one, looking for a lane to cross. It's taken off his foot. A nice play by Catalano, and they'll award Montclair State a goal kick. So a solid opportunity for the Shoremen goes by the wayside. Ball played ahead into the midfield. Washington controls.
Montclair State already matching the amount of shots they took last game.
Altamirano clearing out. Carson has some space. Trying to beat the defense into the Washington College bench, going flying.
Yeah, that was a good point, Jess. I do think Montclair State has looked a little bit closer to their true selves here in this game, and it's what they needed to do going up against this opponent, Washington College, who played so well. And it's been a good match so far. I think both teams have played each other the right way, and Washington College still going to have to go for it with this Montclair State team if they can kick it into gear.
Working in the midfield, Polize. Trying to play one ahead to Carson. It's deflected and booted away by Washington. Chesney. Oh, a good ball. A bit too strong, and Pinto's there to corral it. It was intended for Carson, and he was just a step too late getting over there. Nice play by Pinto. The penalty shootout continues at Tufts. It's currently 8-8. Neither team has missed since those back-to-back misses. I'm sorry, the miss from Tufts kept it going, and Stevens was able to knot things up in the fifth shot. We've seen a keeper step up and make a penalty already. Neither team wanting to go home there on a chilly November night. Better conditions than yesterday, though. No question about that.
Yeah, it's good that we can see these teams play on a dry field, right? Especially Montclair State's game with that hour-long delay in the middle of it. Had to play in the second half a little bit slippery. So finally having a good field to play on will do wonders for them.
The field being covered in leaves. But I will say, I was at the press conference for all four teams, and all of them mentioned, while, it definitely had an impact on things, it didn't make the difference in either of the games. I think the overarching thought was every team had to deal with it. And it's not like it's not like the Packers playing in cold weather. No team is accustomed to playing in hurricane-like conditions. So while it certainly made things interesting, it wasn't the difference maker. Crawford has a takeaway here. Montclair State has some numbers. Crawford has a man beat in the box, crossing, and it goes wide to the far side post.
And he had Bernal racing down on the opposite side. He just couldn't get it to him.
Crawford's so fast, he's able to get past the opponent's defense, but he's so fast that his teammates can't catch up with him. It's that difficult, but Crawford, really nice job there separating himself from the defense.
And Bernal is super fast, too. He was just a step late, though, on the cross, or that would have been a very nice opportunity. Pinto was focused on Crawford, and Montclair State misses an opportunity. Playing to the midfield, Adams can't control it. While Keenan controls, we just had back-to-back saves in the penalty kick shootout at Tufts. Stevens with a chance to win misses the opportunity, and it continues. This has been going on for probably 15 minutes now, unless my sense of time is just way off. Bernal and Jenkins fighting for it. Bernal comes away with it.
I think so far in this game, the biggest difference is Montclair State's able to win a lot of those one-on-one battles.
Trying to play through ball. Chesney one times it out.
Yeah, and that's something about Ian Chesney, I think, was one of the standouts in yesterday's game, just playing that role of booting that thing back and keeping his team on offense. It was one of the difference makers, I think, in the game yesterday.
And you kind of noticed that once Reed Carson entered the game, Amir Lukovic took a step back into the midfield, more of a midfield position. He played most of that in the second half after they scored their first goal.
Little give and go with Bernal. Bernal trying to find a crossing lane. It goes out. Let's see what the call is. Looks like it's going to be a corner kick for Montclair State. And a chance here with just under 7 minutes to play in the first half.
While it's been 0-0, I feel like this first half has went really quick. A lot of action, a lot of back and forth. Mostly Montclair State playing with the ball. See if they can try to go into half here up a score, and not just kind of that they go into half knowing they controlled the ball.
Lukovic demand to take it from the near side corner. A good boot right near the net, lands on top of it. And the Redhawks come up empty. And it has just gone final at Tufts. A save on shot number 13 sends Tufts to the next round, defeating Stevens. What a finish. We have been watching this stream in the background for truly the last 15 to 20 minutes. An incredible game. The fans have stormed the sideline. Terrific finish there, and it looks like Tufts will move on to host the next round for whoever wins this game.
Truly back and forth. A great effort by Stevens, matching them all the way. Just couldn't capitalize after that one save, and the slim victory for Tufts. Such a good program.
Stevens had their chances. Just couldn't capitalize. That's a tough one to swallow.
Montclair State already so early into this game going really deep into some of their bench. We didn't see a lot of these players until late into that second half.
It's interesting because it took about 25 minutes to even see a Montclair State sub. And now,
see another one.
Yeah, they've been really going deep into that bench, like you said. Washington working in the near corner. Fighting for possession. And a whistle is going to... Ball's going to be awarded to Washington. Now a little scrum on the near sideline. All 11 going over to break things up. Some tempers flaring. It was a one-on-one. I couldn't quite catch the numbers of who was involved. Some players needing to be separated, and the ball awarded to Washington College. I do think it's interesting with that penalty kick shootout, though. Tufts, the number 7 team in the country, not untouchable by any means.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be encouraging, right? If you're slated to face them in the next round, to see that it took that much effort just for them to advance, it might be a good sign for some other teams.
I think that's the beauty of this tournament. I think every team is so good and anything can happen. I think it's just a awesome, exciting performance.
Dominic Miller, the man to take the set piece for the Shoremen. Crossed into the box, right near Keenan, he punches it out, and it ends up on the foot of Bernal. The Redhawks trying to get on the counter. Played a bit too strong. Chesney heading it up. And Bernal booting one high into the night sky.
Yeah, great effort by Shane Keenan coming out of the net and punching that one out with aggression.
And now it's Mutscheller to the turf. Carson checking on him. And Mutscheller looks to be in some pain, and they are going to give Reed Carson a yellow card. A pretty late call. It didn't even look like they were going to call a foul until the referee walked over.
We almost saw the Shoremen try to go back-to-back. You know, they put a shot on goal. They made Keenan work. They haven't done it, though, consecutively. We almost saw it there. But this Montclair State midfield just so tough, and the defense even tougher.
And Mutscheller helped up, and it looks like he's going to step over to the sideline. In the D3 soccer men's top 25, Tufts is ranked as the number 1 team in the country. So interesting to see them given such problems from a Stevens team that isn't ranked. It just goes to show the magic of this tournament. In that same poll, Montclair State at number 15, Washington College at number 25. Extended delay here with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the first half. Neither team has been able to find the back of the net. Headed away by Lukovic. Ball played ahead. Washington College controls. Playing to the back line. Linares plays back to Pinto. Washington College working up the far side. Carson has it taken away. Nice play by Horrigan. But a through ball played a bit too strong. Chesney clears. Bernal looking to Bartnick. He had it on his foot for a second, and then it landed right in the hands of Pinto. Maybe not the best first touch from Jacob Bartnick, or he might have had a really nice opportunity.
Yeah, that was a great pass by Bernal, and you know we were talking about the depth in this game. Montclair State using a little bit more of it. We didn't even see Bernal yesterday, but he's come in today and made some really nice plays, giving Montclair State some good opportunities.
Carson is going to go to the sideline now as Evan Chacon checks in. A guy that didn't see too much time early on in the season, but late in the year, he had a big game against CCNY and saw extended time after that. Crawford. He's been all over the field today. Bernal chipping one into the box, and Pinto's there. Not much trouble. A nice job by Pinto leaving the post and going out to grab that one right as Chacon tried to race it down. 2 minutes to play in the first half. The first score for Washington College yesterday came right before the half. That was about 4.5 minutes, though, left to play. We'll see if they could find some late first half heroics again tonight. Adams plays it back now all the way to the back line, trying to work it in. Ends up on the foot of Adams. One-on-one, getting into the box and has it taken away by Lukovic. Still controls. Crossing in, and no one's home. Keenan able to grab it.
Lukovic, a great defensive effort right there, racing, just chasing Adams down and getting in front of him, knowing that was an urgent spot to be able to stop him, and that he did.
You rarely see Lukovic go that far onto the defensive side, but with Bartnick and Bernal in the attack spots, Lukovic has moved to more of a midfield role late in the second half. Altamirano the slide tackle and a foul. Washington College awarded the ball, a minute to play in the first half.
Yeah, and we even saw Lukovic take on a little bit of that role yesterday as well. So, he's been willing to kind of put his body on the line out there defensively to try and shut down these other teams so far in the tournament.
Just 40 seconds left. The Shoremen looking for them to just make one last nice attempt at the goal. Don't give it back to Montclair State here. You don't want anything bad to happen before half.
Half a minute to play. Jenkins to throw in. Montclair State not giving Jenkins any help getting a new ball. Now he plays one in. Nice play by Catalano to knock it right back out. In the corner. Booted high up into the box. Headed. And Keenan goes up and grabs it. Looking like a wide receiver going up for a jump ball. And that is the end of first half action. The buzzer sounds. And although we had some good chances, still scoreless here at Pitzer Field at MSU Soccer Park. A really good half, I would think, by both teams.
Yeah, I think both teams are kind of playing. Well, I think Montclair State is playing better than they played yesterday. Washington College, maybe not so much. I'm sure they would love to control the ball as much as they did yesterday, today, but they just haven't been able to do that with how potent this Red Hawks offense has been. But yeah, solid back and forth. I think they've been pretty evenly matched so far and well deserving of a second round matchup.
Yeah, when you have two really good teams like this going at it and it's so back and forth like it was at the end of that first half, it's going to be which team gets the break. And we kind of almost saw Adams there at the end, but Lukovic was able to step up there. But it's going to be who gets the break. And it was yesterday Montclair State got themselves a PK. And then on the other side, the Shoremen took a ton of shots until they scored. They're not doing that right now. So their game plans are going to need to change, or it's going to just come down to maybe a little luck is involved.
Yeah, and I thought Montclair State controlled the possession for most of that half, but Washington College did a nice job with the opportunities that they did have. They made the most, and they made Keenan at least sweat a little bit in his box.
Yeah, and even yesterday, you can make the argument that they had to get their break to get things started on the part of the Shoremen with that corner from Strine. And, Montclair State has had a couple, and they haven't been able to cash in. But, yeah, I think they've done pretty well defensively, too. They've been able to crowd the box and kind of stop Lukovic a few times. So both teams have been playing extremely well. I think we're in for one heck of a second half.
Yeah, I think Montclair did a good job. Even they moved back Amir. They weren't going – if they're going all at it to score, Amir's playing on that front line. So I think what they did a good job in that first half was seeing what the Shoremen were giving them on the defensive side, what looked like it was opening it up. We kind of saw Crawford almost break through with a cross there to Bernal. Wasn't able to happen. I think those are just small fixes at halftime that they're going to see, and then they'll come back out here in the second half and maybe get something into the back of the net.
And I'll ask both of you guys on each side, who do you think are the key names to watch in the second half as we look for the tiebreaker?
I think what's been incredible in that first half for the Shoremen, Chris Comber on defense, right? We called his name out multiple times. He had that potentially game-saving play in net when Pinto went out. Yeah, season-saving when Pinto was pretty aggressive there, and he was able to stop, and then he's made a couple other defensive stops as well. So he is going to be active. If Montclair State wants to push something across, they're going to have to get past him first.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned it too, the Pinto, the sophomore in goal. He stepped up a little bit. Maybe, he's a young underclassman. He stepped up. He had his defense there to back him up, but I'm expecting him to make some big-time saves in the second half. He wants to keep his team season alive. And then on the other side for Montclair State, I don't know. They kind of moved Amir back, but maybe see if he can, get another couple shots on goal. I think he'll be clearly a big factor if they want to score in this game. Or, maybe Josiah Crawford steps up. Gene Altamirano played a little bit back. Maybe he moves up a little bit more. I'm looking to see this offense maybe be a little bit more aggressive in the second half.
Yeah, ironically enough, it was actually Crawford who had the best chance for Montclair State in that first half, not Lukovic, who is normally the man to put it away for him. But we have just under 12 minutes to go in the half. We're going to take a quick break here on the Red Hawk Sports Network and let you re-rack things. Go get a snack for the second half, but don't go too far because you're not going to watch this one. Looks like we have a barn burner on our hands. Despite the cold weather here in Little Falls, New Jersey, Jack Bartek alongside John Kosoban and Jess Lipson. We will have the call on the second half action, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Back here on the Red Hawk Sports Network, I'm Jack Bartek alongside John Kosovan and Jess Lipson here at Pitzer Field at MSU Soccer Park. It was a really well-played, scoreless first half between the Montclair State Red Hawks and the Washington College Shoremen, both of them fighting for their seasons in these last 45 minutes. It's a chilly night here at Montclair State University. And guys, what are you expecting to see in this second half, and maybe some predictions?
Oof. And, I think both teams might want to score pretty quick coming out of this second half. It's hard not to have a lot of energy. I think both of them played really well. And I do think if you try to get that advantage, then you can start playing a little bit more with a little bit more control over the game. You don't want to go back and forth like you kind of had in that first half. You want to get some certainty going, and a 1-0 score would be the great way to do that.
Yeah, I think both offenses just come out way more aggressive. It's 0-0. Both teams have yet to score. Montclair State taking 7 more shots than the Shoremen, that is. So that's big on their part. But they were very content, it seemed like, in that first half, just holding possession and keeping possession. I'm looking to see them take a couple more shots. But for the Shoremen, if Montclair State comes out and controls possession for the first 15 minutes, it doesn't get easier. It just gets harder, and fatigue's going to play a factor. So the Shoremen cannot just let up for these first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they seemed pretty hyped breaking their huddle. I was telling you guys at the break, I think that we are in for a Tufts-Stevens re-rack here. I think that Pinto and Keenan have been so good. I don't think we see anybody find the back of the net until a penalty kick shootout.
I could hardly contain myself watching the Tufts and Stevens.
I can only imagine what I feel like.
If it's right in front of us here, I don't know. Whew.
And just the elation out of Tufts when they finally were able to secure that victory. You could see how much it meant. Here's a great chance early on. The ball's still loose in the box. And finally knocked out by Keenan. It's still in play. And I think they say it was out and it'll be a corner kick. It was Guads with a chance in the box. And now an early corner for Washington College. It's going to be Harrison Malone to take it.
Yeah, that's that aggressive offense that we were saying we were going to see to start out this second half. And now they have a real shot.
High arcing cross, and Keenan is able to corral it. If it was Saturday or if we were playing NFL Sunday, that would have been incomplete. He wasn't able to control it through the ground, but he was able to corral it pretty quickly and make sure it was a non-issue. Lukovic a bit too strong on the touch. Played to the near side. All the way to the back line. And now Chesney lets one loose. Interesting to see Malone taking the corner kick. If I'm not mistaken yesterday, it was Strine who took it and scored off of it.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot. We almost didn't even see that it went in off his foot. It curved so well. But interesting choice there, especially for their first corner of the game.
Here's a boot in. Lukovic, a strong touch. It's popped up in the air. Still not clear. Bernal has it. Pelais taken off his foot. And Bernal is going to be whistled there. So I thought it was interesting. We talked to Greg Adams after the game yesterday, and he said that Strine is known for doing that on corner kicks. He's a specialist at curling that one right in front. And he was like, I don't even know what happened. I looked up 1 second, and the ball was coming right at us. And then the next second, it was in the back of the net, and we were celebrating. But he said he's done that before this season. So surprising not to see Strine taking that one.
Yeah, and it changed the game for them yesterday as well. And Strine, we haven't even really talked about Strine too much even tonight. So it's an interesting change from yesterday when he was such a huge factor and such an active presence.
That's Ben Strine down on the corner right now. Not the Strine that we've been talking about. James, here's a little free ball in the box and knocked away. Looks like it was Rodriguez getting a foot on it, and it ends up with Lukovic. Back heel to Murphy. Bernal playing one ahead. Intended for Lukovic, not the best of ball. And now Pinto will set things up for the Shoremen.
Would have liked to see Montclair maybe switch sides instead of just going straight forward to Lukovic. Josiah Crawford on the near side looked to be open.
Montclair State awarded the ball there. And just talking about it, I don't see Strine out there right now. I don't know if my vision is failing me. We were talking about it at the break, but I don't see James Strine, the leading scorer for the Shoremen, on the field right now. Maybe conserving him for a late second-half run, but surprising move, especially we mentioned early on in this game, is this one's booted way into the box, and Pinto grabs it almost right off the head of Lukovic. But you have a week after this one, so I don't know if this is the time to play conservation mode.
Yeah, they're going to continue to need plays like that from Pinto if they're not going to have their top scorer up there on the field, and aggressive catch that was needed to take it away from Lukovic there.
Interesting. We saw a Montclair State game earlier this season against Rutgers Newark. It was only the second loss of the year for Montclair State, but in overtime, we didn't see two of the country's top scorers at the time, Amir Lukovic or Franco Catania, on the field. And we asked the coaches after the game, and they really said it was all about strategy at that point. You kind of take the names and the prior statistics out of play, and you just put the guys on the field that you think give you the best chance. Crawford working towards the midfield, and Pinto comes out to grab that one. He's really heady in the net. He knows when to go out and grab the ball and when to let it play back towards him. He's done a great job tonight.
I think that also has to do with the confidence he has in his back line and in the defense to be there and back him up if he needs. We saw it earlier in the game.
Yeah, and to be a sophomore as well, to have that much confidence, right, to come out of goal pretty much almost every time and make those aggressive plays. As a program, that's exciting to have a goalkeeper like that.
Yeah, a huge part of that is assistant coach Jeff Reinhold. He's been working with the goalies one-on-one. He came here in 2012 as he's just been a huge part.
He's only got two saves. 9 shots from Montclair State. 3 of them on goal. And obviously the one save, and the one that will continue to beckon until we find a score here, as the ball is awarded to Washington College. Not sure what happened there. Chesney was lining up for the set piece, and it's given to the Shoremen.
Just 5 minutes into this half, definitely a different feel opposed to that first half. If you're on the Shoreman side, much more aggressive, doing a really good job.
Yeah. The big save so far has come from Chris Comer, the defenseman. Made a couple of huge plays in that first half, but none bigger than knocking away the rebound of Josiah Crawford that surely would have found the back of the net if he wasn't there. Altamirano heads that one out. It'll be another throw-in for Washington. Murphy. Nice job by the Redhawks clearing that out of harm's way. Lukovic 1-on-3. And he had it knocked away from behind and draws the whistle. Surprisingly, it seemed like Lukovic was the one initiating the contact. But they're going to say, I think Malone was a bit too rough there on the challenge. And Chesney will take the set piece. Some backspin working ahead to Bernal. He controls in the far corner. Right on the outside of the 18-yard box. Now Pelais sliding. Zailanka shot just over the top. Zailanka had a chance there. It looked like it might curl in for just a split second, but it flies high of the crossbar. Another good look for Montclair State. Still nothing to show for it.
That was a great look. I think that's probably the best chance they've had all game. Beautiful shot by Zailanka and just missing up above that crossbar.
And we had a pretty perfect angle on it right from behind Zailanka. It was almost like when you see those Instagram videos that have the perfect angle of soccer goals is what we just had on Zailanka's shot, a little bit zoomed out. And he just missed curling that one in. Still scoreless. We're almost 10 minutes into this second half. An absolutely terrific game between the Montclair State Redhawks and the Washington College Shoremen. If you're just joining us, Jack Bartek alongside John Kosoban and Jess Lipson for the Redhawks Sports Network. Second round coverage of the NCAA Division III Men's Soccer National Tournament. Both of these teams looking to keep their season alive for one more week. Playing towards the end line, crossed in, and sent away by Rodriguez. Lukovic gets free. Montclair State might have some numbers here on a run. Murphy looking ahead to Crawford, and the through ball just a bit too light. And a nice job by Alex Coaster to chase it down. The Shoremen looking to get on the counter, and instead they'll drag it back out and set things up. A little uncharacteristic for Montclair State to get a chance like that and not at least get something at the net.
Yeah, so far this 10 minutes, they have not looked really great on offense, haven't really been able to get much going. Besides for that deep look from Zylanka, but it's still, Pelaz was able to salvage that by keeping it alive.
Oh, that's a great ball up ahead, and Keenan wisely coming out to get it before Guads could get there. Now a whistle near the midfield. They're going to get Altamirano as Malone went to the turf, and the Shoremen faithful on their feet making noise.
Yeah, all of a sudden it kind of feels like the momentum has shifted just a little bit.
Very excited for that call. And just like that, gone in a flash. Crossed in, high arcing. Ends up on the foot of Catalano. Booted way out towards midfield. Washington College still controls. They have been the aggressors in the second half, no question about it, applying the pressure to Montclair State and getting the Redhawks out of their comfort zone, as opposed to a first half where it seemed like Montclair State had put their stamp on the game.
Yeah, and I think it really speaks volumes to the coaching staff and the leaders on this team. Earlier in the year, when you lose to a team 3-1, that's not a close game. The Montclair State is dominating, and for them to come back and not give in, not let it to get to them mentally, is really good, as they have an opportunity here.
Looks like Guad's in the box. Has it taken off his foot by Rodriguez. Montclair State didn't do a great job clearing on the header. And Guad's had an opportunity, but nothing comes of it. Nice job by Rodriguez defensively. Washington College still controlling. Horgan to Jenkins, now trying to work it up. Guads lost it, and it'll be given to Montclair State. So finally, some relief as the Redhawks win the throw-in.
Yeah, they've done a great job defensively of kind of targeting Guads and not giving him any space. There's that one closer to the box and then there, even on the edge. So, especially Rodriguez, I think he's done a nice job today defensively breaking up some of those big scorers of the Shoremen.
Washington working down the near sideline. Crawford with the speed. He's taken down, and Montclair State awarded the ball. Coaster going to be called for the foul. Shoreman fans not happy about it.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if the Redhawks can just, slowly build up the field. They don't need to do it in one big punt. Maybe to give it to Lukovic, which Chesney taking the kick, I'm sure it was going to be a big punt.
He's done a pretty good job getting the ball upfield this season. Crawford looks like he lost the ball there after the header. Washington College did not. Now they work it upfield. Catalano knocks it out. Shoreman throw it. And now a sub. Trying to get the number. It looks like it might be Alyan Yusuf, who we have not seen yet today. Lukovic on a bit of a run here. Plays one ahead to Crawford. A bit weak. And Pinto goes out to grab it. He's done it so well all night long, and once again right there.
Yeah, the instinct by Pinto to come out and stop Crawford from getting that ball was actually a pretty solid pass by Lukovic, leading him there. and it could have been a great opportunity for Montclair State.
Malone has it in the corner. Now Greenfeld. Challenged by Pelaez. Gets it right back to Malone. Malone crossing. Headed out by Catalano. Still not out of danger. Catalano boots it up. The Shoremen still control, and they'll send it back and settle things down a bit. Across into the box. Chesney misses, and luckily Rodriguez right there. And the Redhawks can breathe a bit easy. Murphy trying to play one ahead to Lukovic. He wins the 50-50 ball. Working one-on-one. Back towards the middle of the field. Gets some room. Left foot. High of the crossbar. Pinto went flying, but he didn't have to do anything. Lukovic just misfires. And it just feels like both teams are this close, but just can't execute.
You can kind of feel it, right? It's getting a little hairy. Both of these teams are starting to really get into a groove here. It seems like something is about to tip over at any moment. Gave Lukovic a lot of space and a great shot opportunity, just a little high.
We have a half hour left to play here at MSU Soccer Park. A lot of action to go. You're definitely not going to want to miss the end to this one. I can tell you it's going to be a fun one. That'll be a Shoreman throw-in, another sub here. And once again, it will be Washington going to the bench. I didn't catch a number there. Craig Adams coming back in was the move for Washington College as Jackson Sopa heads to the bench. Montclair State awarded the ball in the midfield. Chesney just plays it right to Pelaez. Bernal. Back to Pelaez. Crawford chips one over to Zylanka in the box. Has it taken off his foot through the end line, and it'll be a goal kick. Another dangerous situation, but another bullet dodged for the Shoremen.
Yeah, that was a good idea from Crawford, putting it to Zylanka. Just not quick enough there. It was a good, got to hand it to the Shoremen on defense, being able to step up, but I would have done that same play.
Pinto set to boot it away. Time continuing to tick away here. Adams gets it on the near side. Working towards the midfield. Almost had it taken off his foot. Now Altamirano gives it away. Bernal trying to use the speed. Looking up ahead. Pinto comes out to head it. And it goes out, but Pinto stops the break. It's the split-second decision-making for Pinto that's so amazing. You know, if he's a second later on that header there, Lukovic is able to get it around him, and no one would be there to stop it. He had a really nice play on Crawford before as well, where it was a split-second decision, and he made the right one. The sophomore has been decisive and has made all the right decisions tonight.
Yeah, it comes down to confidence, right? To be able to just bull rush a guy like Lukovic, not an easy decision to make.
And I also think something to point out there is Lukovic being aware that Pinto is there. He cannot collide with Pinto, doesn't want to get a card. And, he's probably not expecting outside of the box to find the opponent's goalie.
A throw-in for Montclair State. Coach Tumulty directing his guys into the box. But the throw-in will go to Altamirano. He's got some room. Now chips it over. Catalano crosses. A lot of bodies in the box. And Washington controls with ease.
Yeah, good breakup by Horgan, it looked like, who was right there to stop that ball with his body.
Oh, almost a chance there. And a nice job by Coaster to stop it. Pelaez knocked down in the midfield. A clean tackle from Adams. Shoreman trying to get on a run. And now they'll give it away. A Montclair State throw-in. Chesney.
I'm waiting for when Coach Tumulty puts in Quijado, maybe another scorer.
It looks like he's actually getting set to check in right now. Ironically enough, Jess with his best Tony Romo impression.
Yeah, you look down the starting lineup for this team, and he's only logged about 27 minutes so far. Hasn't been in the game in a while, so it'll be refreshing to see him out there for Montclair State.
Some great hustle there. The Redhawks able to keep the ball in. Bernal. Murphy. Booting one. Way too strong. No one home. And it'll roll out for a Shoreman throw-in. Don't know if Murphy thought he had someone on the near side or if he was aiming for Lukovic and just misfired. But nothing comes of it for the Redhawks.
Murphy putting too much on it right there. A couple minutes earlier, Ryan Catalano not putting enough on it. You know, they're getting the looks down there. They're just maybe getting a little jittery when it comes to finally making that pass.
Washington plays it back this time. Approaching 25 minutes left to play.
Murphy all alone there.
Murphy playing ahead to Bernal. A bit strong. Bernal sliding, but he can't save it, and it'll be a goal kick. And now Quijado will check in.
Yeah, you could kind of see Lukovic and Crawford voicing a bit of their displeasure, right, at seeing that ball just roll so long and leading to this goal kick. Thought maybe they could try and take a different route there, set something up.
Bernal steps up as Quijado comes back on for Montclair State. Altamirano trying to chase it down in the midfield. A nice play to get it over to Zylanka. Past the 65-minute mark. Second half still scoreless here in Little Falls, New Jersey. Jack Bartek, John Kosoban, Jess Lipson on the call for the Red Hawk Sports Network. Second round of the Division III NCAA Men's Soccer National Tournament. Each of these teams looking to punch their ticket to the Sweet 16. It took Tufts penalty kicks to get past Stevens. Just earlier on this broadcast, we were discussing it as it happened. We'll see if this game has the same fate.
I'm starting to buy into your thoughts there, Jack, about the way this thing might end. You know, not really seeing either team break through in any big way. Could be headed to a similar exciting finish.
Looks like Michael Casper and Emmanuel Quadio checking in. One sub for each side. A through ball. Lukovic crossing. Gets past Pinto, but nobody's there to clean up the miss. And another chance wasted by Montclair State.
That's the second time recently that you hope for a little bit better spacing on the part of the Redhawks to have a guy back there to pick it up. But multiple times now we've seen it just roll into the corner with nobody home.
Souvenir for a fan there. I don't think they get to go home with that one, unfortunately. Cotto working in the midfield. Nice ball to Pelais. Playing it far side. Chance at a cross. Casper has his cross attempt blocked. Catalano settles it. Crosses in the box. Lukovic goes up, punched out by Pinto. It was just inches high for Lukovic. Even if it grazed his head, might have made things interesting. But it got through to Pinto, who knocked it out with the double fist punch.
Once again, coming in hot against Lukovic and winning that battle, punching it out. Really loving the aggressive play from him today.
With 22 minutes left, Montclair State in the last couple minutes getting some good looks. Now they have fresh legs in Quijado and Casper out there. I'm looking to see them continue to do so. And with a lot of time left, and these Shoremen been out there for a long time, fatigue could set in. Going to have to stay strong.
Oh, Chesney was looking for Lukovic. He might have been offside. If it got through, Lukovic would have been one-on-one with Pinto. But a great job heading it out. It might have been Comer again, and if so, saving the day. for Washington. Bit of a strong touch. Catalano misfires. Going to be a Shoreman throw-in. Hits off Baltimorano into the Montclair State bench. Another throw-in for Coadio. Shoreman trying to get on a run here. Malone. Crossing towards the midfield and just a bit too strong for Ben Strine. The Shoremen still control. Trying for a give and go, but nobody went, and Crawford comes away with it, taking it himself. Now booting up ahead, looking for Lukovic. Comer heads it, ends up on the foot of Lukovic. He's one on about 6 or 7 right now, wisely taking it out, and the Redhawks will take their time. All the way back to Chesney. Now Crawford again. Casper looking back to Crawford in the corner. Cross. Oh, just over the head of Lukovic. And Washington clearance attempt. Still not out of danger. Peliz has his pass deflected out. Montclair State throw-in.
That was huge for Zelenka to break up that big punt. Keeps Montclair State on the offense.
Some more subs for Montclair State. It's going to be Reed Carson and Justin Goldberg coming on.
Yeah, good to see Justin Goldberg out there. Missed most of the season and been getting some time in recent games. Good to see him out there. Always a leader on the field for Montclair State.
Yeah, leader on and off the field, and you know how much it means to him to be able to put some time in this game. Clock stopped.
Yeah, and he's not just they're not just putting him out there to get some playing time. This is the biggest part of their season. They trust him. Nobody else. They don't want anybody else in this moment.
Quads is also back in for Washington. Working on the far side. Cajado going to be whistled. I think they might have said he was offside. Washington will get it back. Down under 20 minutes to play in the second half. There's been plenty of chances in this game, but a great job by Pinto and Keenan, and a few misfires have gotten us here. Still 0-0. Malone gets his pass through. Now it's Strine on the far side. That's Ben Strine, though, not James Strine. He's still not out there for the Shoremen. Very interesting to see that, and wonder if he'll come back on at all. Here's a shot and a score! Greg Adams turnaround out of nowhere. What a shot from Adams!
What a strike. That was powerful. Keenan couldn't even get a touch on it. Just finding straight to the back of the net.
He scored yesterday. He scores again today. Will it be the one to send the Shoremen to the Sweet 16?
And there it is. That's why they can afford to not have Strine out there, because that's just how good Greg Adams is. Like you said, Jack, we saw it yesterday once again, and that's a dagger right there with just about 18 minutes to go in regulation.
Montclair State really needs to stick to the game plan and draw something up and score here. They have, even in yesterday, they didn't draw something up and score it. It came off a PK. They really need to show their offense and what they've been able to do all season, especially when they played this team last time.
Yeah, if anything's going to motivate them to kick it into gear, it's going to be that. Watching Washington College put the first point on the board, you have to come back strong if you're Montclair State and not let this lead linger for too long.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Outside of that penalty kick score yesterday, they went the final 2 overtime periods against Rutgers Newark, an entire game against Rowan, and an entire game yesterday without a score. And now their backs are against the wall in the 73rd minute, trying to find the equalizer. What a play by Adams. Owen Murphy back on for Montclair State, throwing into the box. It's headed up. Pinto goes up and gets it. Able to corral it. It came free for just a second, but Pinto is there to take care of it.
Yeah, and this is the part of the game where the talent of Pinto is going to come in handy. He's been making those plays all game, and he really has a chance to bear down here and keep this lead.
Montclair State coach Todd Tumult. Oh, here's a chance. It gets past the defense. Adams has some room. Ooh, saved by Keenan. What a weird play. You thought Adams might cross it for a second as he had Ben Strine running on, and it almost looked like he tried to fool Keenan and tap one in. Keenan dove back. We lost the ball for a second, and it looks like they'll set up a corner kick.
Yeah, Keenan kind of lost his footing at the end of that and just fell down. Really weird play, like you said, Jack, and luckily for him, nothing came of it.
Yeah, going back to that goal from Adams, it was really big. He hasn't had a shot all game. He didn't wait for the perfect shot. He made things happen, and that was really from deep out. He really did a nice job.
An incredible turnaround shot from Adams. Here's Malone to take the corner, looking to extend the lead. It's headed up by Chesney. Bicycle attempt, headed out again by Chesney. Still in the box. Lukovic heads it out. Ends up on the foot of Malone. Far side corner. Trying to find a crossing lane. Double teamed. Kicks it out. It'll be a goal kick for Montclair State. Keenan standing over it. We'll see if Montclair State is able to find the equalizer in the last 15 minutes. Cleared away, all the way back. Rodriguez chasing it down. Redhawks head coach Todd Tumulty, 19-9 career in NCAA tournament games. But he'll have to pull a rabbit out of the hat here if he wants to improve upon that record.
Lucky for him, he has one of the top scorers in the country in Lukovic out there on the field.
Yeah, you know, Lukovic had that one opportunity down in the box when he jumped up and just missed that header. They were able to get it past the defense to him. It was just that it was a little off center and couldn't get it to him, a little high. So if they can get that sort of opportunity again and just put it on Lukovic's head, things could happen. You could have a tie game.
Catalano crossing into the box. That's way easy for Pinto. Nobody even near him as he corrals it. And it looks like the Shoremen have all but parked the bus at this point. And rightfully so with the 1-0 lead.
Yeah.
All they have to do is protect that.
Yeah, we might see a little bit of what we saw in that first half where Montclair State, kind of controlled the ball. And they did a really good job on defense, but they weren't, of course, forcing the goal themselves.
Yeah, and, Jack, you mentioning parking the bus, I mean, that takes you back to the semifinal against Rowan where Montclair State gave up that one goal, and then that's exactly what happened to them, and they could not get one across to tie. So a little bit of the same thing happening here.
Crawford thought he had some room. Shot blocked. Altamirano gets it to Zylanka. Zylanka lining up across. He's got a man in the box. Cajado saved by Pinto. What a play!
Wow, Cajado's not going to get great looks like that all day. He had it there in front of the goal. Pinto stepping up.
And that's exactly what you needed. They needed to start creating opportunities in front of Pinto. But when he's so aggressive and so talented like that, it's hard to get one across.
It was a beautiful ball by Zylanka. You can't dream of a better pass. Cajado got it on his foot, had it settled. But Pinto once again being decisive, and he chose correctly as he's done all night long, and makes a money save.
Yeah, you're right about that pass by Zelanka. Just watched it back. I mean, he curled that thing above about the heads of 4 red shirts. Could not have put it in a better spot. Just an amazing play by Pinto.
That one not nearly as good of a ball as Zelanka. And it's taken by the Shoreman. Now deflected, back to Palais. Couldn't get it through to Lukovic.
In the last couple minutes, really, it's been all Montclair State's ball. Sherman not holding possession for really more than even just 5 seconds. It's going to probably stay like that until the end of this game, or unless Montclair State's able to score.
Catalano on the far side. Has it knocked off his foot. Montclair State throw in. We'll see a sub. Danny Rodriguez heading off. Michael Casper on. And for the Shoreman, it looks like Dominic Miller is going to see his first action. Catalano will take the throw in for the Redhawks. They crowd the box in front of Pinto. Looks like Cajato's heading off here. Not sure if there's a sub coming. It looks like Bernal is going to head in for him right now. Catalano throwing into the box, headed by Lukovic, still loose. Turn around and fire. Still in the box, not clear. And the Shoremen finally get it out of trouble. Casper had the best chance at it. His shot was deflected. Catalano crossing. Crawford gets a head on it. Easy for Pinto. He'll drag out some time and then pick it up.
Yeah, it's been busy in the box there in front of Pinto, but that Shoreman defense just staying strong, knowing that they just have to keep this lead for about another 11 minutes. Montclair State still trying to give themselves those opportunities up close.
Malone has it knocked off his foot. Shoreman throwing. The Redhawks fighting to keep their season alive here in the second round of the NCAA tournament. If you're just joining us, Jack Bartek alongside John Kosoban and Jess Lipson for the Redhawks Sports Network. A 1-0 Washington College lead over Montclair State, looking to pull off the upset.
With now under 11 minutes left, time is a major factor in this game, and Montclair's going to want to, I think, most of all, be careful of not fouling. They don't want to let, Washington be able to take their time setting up free kicks, or just take their time in general and being able to control the ball and control the time.
That one goes out. Montclair State throwing. They're working their way up the field pretty quickly here. Casper. Dancing. Knocked down. Clean challenge. Washington comes away with it. A ball played ahead. 1-on-2. Looks like Quads. His shot goes wide right. Had Keenan diving. And it looks scary for a second, but Guads just misses. That one would have almost surely put this one out of reach at 2-0. But the lead remains 1-0 as Chesney boots one downfield.
Yeah, couldn't see the number, but knew it was Guads just by the way he was taking that thing.
Nice touch from Murphy. Crawford right on the end line. Pulls it back. Crosses. Here's a chance. It's headed out. Still in the box. Palais. Chips one in, headed by Lukovic, and finally cleared out. Adams has a bit of room. He'll slow it down, one-on-one with Altamirano. Altamirano knocks it out. At the 81-minute mark, Montclair State has their backs against the wall. Palais. Pass intercepted. Played back to Chesney. Chesney working it ahead. Has Lukovic on the far side. Lukovic steps over it. Working back towards the midfield. Lets one fly far left. Another window for Lukovic. And he just misses. It's been by less than feet on multiple occasions today. Lukovic making chances by himself, but can't convert.
Yeah, really good footwork there. Put it between some legs, and that's not the first time tonight that we've seen one of his shots just barely miss. He's been, seems like getting closer and closer, but he's going to have to connect and put the ball in the back of the net before this one is up with about 8 minutes to go.
Peliz. Now Zylanka working it back. In the 83rd minute, Peliz crossing one up. It bends the opposite way, I think, of what he was expecting it to do. Knocked out. Catalano on the far side. Catalano flies one into the box. Altamirano got a foot on it, but it's cleared with ease. Zylanka keeps it in control. He's got Peliz on the near side, working towards the corner. Plays one to Crawford. Crawford back to Peliz. He has it knocked off his foot by Adams. A challenge from Crawford, and it'll be awarded to the Shoreman. Sopa was the man controlling.
Adams usually the offensive force for this team, getting a leg in there with a clutch breakup. And Washington College doing a good job of protecting this lead as the clock winds down.
Just 7 minutes left to play. That's all that separates Washington College and a date with Tufts in the Sweet 16. Chesney plays it ahead for Zylanka. Zylanka right near the midfield line. Peliz, not a great pass. Taken away. The Redhawks somehow get it back in the midfield. Murphy misfires. It's going to go out and be a Shoreman throw-in.
Big time miscommunication there. He expected Lukovic to just come back, and just a mistake this late in the game hurts if you're the Redhawks.
Headed in by Catalano. Now Chesney goes back to get it. 6 minutes left to play. All the way back to Keenan. Have to wonder if Keenan's not going to leave his post at some point and play 12 on 11. I should say 11 on 10. Crawford. Adams intercepts the pass. Here's a chance for an attack for the Shoreman. Adams looking for Guads, has it knocked out by Chesney. That'll be a Washington throw-in.
Yeah, we've seen Guads be so dangerous on that far side, streaking down, so Chesney on the slide, knocking that one away is what the Redhawks needed, but they're still going to have to shore up defensively and go on some offense here.
That one thrown all the way back for Chesney to go race and get it. The Shoreman just trying to drain the clock at this point. Time, the biggest enemy of Montclair State right now. Crawford plays it back to Zylanka. The Redhawks looking to avoid being held scoreless for just the second time this season. Catalano crosses it in, and it's knocked out. It'll be a corner kick for Montclair State, and under 5 minutes to go. This might be the chance. If you haven't been following closely, pay attention, switch your tab, whatever you have to do. Get your eyes on the screen, because this might be your ball game. Chacon in. Looks like Cajado will be the man to take it. A good boot in the box, headed by Altamirano. It's still in the air. Crawford gets a head on it. Still loose. A shot. It's knocked out. Montclair State looking for a handball. And it's finally cleared away. A ton of action and nothing to show for it. Zylanka booting one ahead. Up in the air. Here's Quads out in open space.
That is not difficult what the Shoreman defense was able to do just now, especially on a Redhawks team that knows they need to score. being able to fend off that attack was just monstrous.
Sopa 1-on-2 in the corner, dragging out the clock even further. Under 4 minutes to play. Pillai's trying to work it ahead. Chacon loses it. Oh, here's a chance. Malone plays it over to Guads. Guads settles it in the box. No rush for the Shoremen. Guads plays it up top. A shot saved by Keenan. That was Ben Strine. Keenan boots it deep. 3:15 to play. Lukovic loses it. Played out. Montclair State throw-in.
Washington College doing a great job of keeping Montclair State off of the offensive. They did a great job in the box just about a minute ago, but now as the clock ticks under 3, forcing them to play some defense. Really great effort to try and hold on to this slim lead.
Just hearing some of the fans, it sounds like Washington College might have gotten away with a handball in the box there. Nothing the Red Hawks can do about it, but try and put one on the board here. Cajado, back heel, no one home. The Shoremen control again. They can run the clock even further down. Miller, he's going to work it all the way to the corner. Trying to be chased. It finally goes out. And they're going to say a corner kick? Cajado is incensed about the call. I didn't see what the official signal was, but the ball is going to be awarded to Washington. 2:09 to play. The clock is stopped. I believe it's going to be a Shoreman throw-in. And they get it in. The clock continues to run. Strine lost it. They play it back. Playing keep away. Miller sends it all the way to the back line.
Looks like Cajado's down on near goal.
Booted ahead. Catalano gets ahead on it, but Guads is able to recover possession. Oh, Guads has some room. He's on a breakaway. One-on-one with Keenan. Shoots. Scores! And barring a miracle, it looks like Washington College is headed to the Sweet 16.
Wow, you have to wonder how the Red Hawks just let that happen. They need to score, and for the past couple seconds, minutes, the Shoremen were on their side, able to score, and Guad's able to make that happen.
You know, and what was big there was Cajado, who came up limping on this near side in the corner, and he wasn't able to join the defensive effort. And I mean, that right there, that's going to do it. I mean,
pandemonium here at Pitzer Field. The Shoreman faithful are on their feet. Montclair State still not happy about the potential handball that wasn't. It's a 2-0 lead for Washington College. It would take a monumental comeback at this point. But the Shoremen just trying to play keep away and drag the clock. Found the second goal, got the insurance they needed. And they have a stranglehold on this one.
There's a minute 40 seconds left, though. The game is not over.
Not sure what the holdup is. The ball is ready at midfield. Still waiting.
And the crowd right now absolutely going nuts. Washington College fans coming out in full force for this one and being rewarded with watching their team play so well.
Catalano. Looks like Keenan is going to leave his post and work his way up towards the net. Pinto punches it out. A minute 20 left. Montclair State throw-in. Pillai's over to Crawford. Back to Pillai's. Cross in. Misses everything. Still in the box. A shot knocked away by Pinto. Looks like it'll be a corner for Montclair State. Keenan is up into the box.
What a save there by Pinto going down to the ground to make that one.
Montclair State throwing the kitchen sink at Washington College right now. Headed, misses everything. Goal kick for Pinto. And with 45 seconds left, you wonder if Montclair State can even get possession back for one shot, let alone two. This one might be over.
Yeah, it's looking like that might be the case, Jack. Pinto with some great plays here down the stretch. And he'll kick this one out.
Crawford ends up with it. There's a whistle. It'll be awarded to Washington College. The time down to 15 seconds. The countdown is on and the celebration is on. After getting their first NCAA tournament win in school history yesterday, the Washington College Shoremen are headed to the Sweet 16 for the first time in school history. A 2-0 victory over Montclair State. They pull off the upset, and the next team in their sights, the number 1 team in the nation, they went to penalty kicks with Stevens, Tufts University.
Just an amazing effort by the Shoremen, coming in here and playing, looking the best yesterday, and then coming in against the home team, Montclair State, and just playing so well. The way that they took over after they scored that first goal and really just put the Red Hawks on the defensive, getting that insurance goal as well at the end. Just a really great effort overall, and you can't say enough about the way that they played.
Yeah, it seems like, they came in with a game plan. They were going to keep it close early and try to keep it close the whole game and then hope something breaks through. And they did. They got that first goal. And then, Montclair State playing really aggressive at the end there. They were able to then find an opening again at the end, and Guads was able to really just seal the deal and get this win. Really hard-earned win, and it's just crazy to think that they lost to this team 3-1 earlier in the year. It just blows my mind that was the case.
Well, Coach Dunshee told us yesterday they are a different team than what they were in September. They had the opportunity to prove it today, and they did just that.
And the effort offensively, especially when you talk about the fact that they really didn't have James Strine almost at all. He played 22 minutes in this one, and they were able to score 2 off of Shane Keenan and this Montclair State defense. So, that just goes to show the options that this team has. They can go to anyone. Guads and Adams really took over. We were talking about yesterday how Guads played so well and wasn't able to score. But, the way that this team was able to take advantage of this opportunity, huge heading into the Sweet 16.
Coach Dunshee coming over and grabbing a sign from the Shoreman faithful saying believe. If you haven't seen the Apple TV special, Ted Lasso, you're missing out, and you won't get the reference there, but it is spot-on accurate. Washington College dressing up as AFC Richmond for Halloween, and they haven't taken the costume off yet, and they'll get to live the dream for another week as they head to the Sweet 16 next on the schedule. And obviously, Guads gets the second goal, but Adams is the hero with the turnaround boot to give Washington the 1-0 lead. An incredible score in the 72nd minute. And once that goal went in, the entire tone of the game changed.
Yeah, they were able to take over kind of like we saw early in the game yesterday. They really know how to keep possession. Another thing that Coach Dunshee talked about to us a few days ago is how his team loves to have the ball, and they did just that after coming off of that first score. And then you got to give credit as well to Pinto in goal. He was so good, 5 saves on the night. They were able to lock down defensively when they needed to. Their offense came through, a complete team win. You see them there now with the celebration. They deserve it.
Yeah. My bad.
No, please, Jess.
Kind of to even add to that, right after he said that he loves to play with the ball, they're also very comfortable knowing that they're not going to be able to play with the ball a lot of that game. And I think that was the case here. We saw a flurry of shots for Montclair State at the end in that box, and the defense just stood strong there. Pinto strong. We saw Comer a little bit early in that first half with a nice save. It was a real just full team effort from this team. You can't just point to one member.
And we have to give a shout out to, I think, the unsung hero of this game and maybe the real hero overall, a play that would have changed the entire way this game was played. Chris Comer with a save way early on in the first half. Josiah Crawford put a shot on goal. It was saved by Pinto, but the rebound ended up right on the foot of Crawford. He had a wide open net except for Chris Comer, and he was able to get the save and clear it out. And from then on, the chances were few and far between for Montclair State. Comer played terrific today.
Yeah, that was a clutch stop, and it's an entirely different game if Montclair State is able to put the first goal up on the board. So him being there in that moment, the strength to be there, right? He was there, and that's got to charge you up too, right? Especially as a goalie, a guy like Pinto in goal who's so aggressive, he loves to go out. Like you mentioned during the game, Jess, the fact that he can come out because he trusts his defense, and you saw right there more obviously than you could ever see the fact that Comer was able to slide in and punch that one away. I mean, it was just all cylinders, right? Everyone was working, full team effort.
Yeah, the two scorers in that first game were Kikado and Amir Lukovic, and they combined for one shot on goal. That should tell you how Montclair State wasn't able to score. They've been really riding those two all season long, and for for them to lock down those two was key.
And so for Montclair State, an unfortunate end to a great season. They finished the year off at 17-4-1. And for Washington College, their season continues at least until next weekend. They'll see Tufts University in the Sweet 16. What a game by Coach Roy Dunshee and the Shoremen. They improve to 15-4-1. And we'll see what they can do next weekend. But we want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Red Hawk Sports Network. A great weekend of coverage. John and Jess had the coverage yesterday, and I hopped in to make it a three-man booth today. It was an absolute pleasure. Congratulations to the Shoremen, and we'll be watching next weekend. For John Kosoban and Jess Lipson, I'm Jack Bartek. We hope you have a great rest of your Sunday evening.